live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News broadcast. We are coming to you live from the Rupavahini News Studios. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
Good evening, I'm Charita Vinipurarachi and now let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
Sri Lanka and Singapore leaders discuss on an extensive economic partnership. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says he would leave politics if it proves that a fraud has taken place with regard to the leasing of ChannelEye. Urea fertilizer to be provided at low cost to vegetable farmers as well. Investigations into the deaths of 8 turtles in the Goa Face Beach. A joint program for the continuous supply of drinking water. One of the 6 children trapped in a cable car in Pakistan has been rescued. Rescue operations continue. Now for those and other stories in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe engaged in official discussions with Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong regarding formation of an extensive bilateral economic partnership.
A memorandum of understanding pertaining to the decarbonizing was also signed. President Ranil Wickremesinghe was engaged in talks strategizing and strengthening bilateral collaboration with Singapore Prime Minister. The landmark collaboration between the governments of Sri Lanka and Singapore falls under the Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, a pivotal framework for global environmental stewardship. The Clause 6 stipulates opportunities for close and profitable collaboration in reducing greenhouse emissions under the international carbon trade. Chief of Staff and National Security Advisor Sagala Ratnayaka, Senior Advisor on Climate Change Ruwan Wijewardena and Senior Advisor on Economic Stabilization Dr. R.H.S. Samaratunga have also attended the discussion. Singapore was also presented at the talks by its Minister on Sustainable Environmental Grace Foo Hai Yen.
Now, Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says if at any moment it proves that he engaged in an illegal, incorrect or corrupt act by handing over ChannelEye of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation on lease for a period of 6 months to a private company, he would not only relinquish all his portfolios but also from politics of the country.
The minister was responding to a query raised by National People's Power leader Anura Kumar Dissanayake in Parliament today regarding the issue.
ජාතික රූපවාහිනිය අයිනාලිකාව සහ ඒ ගුවන් කාලය රාජ්‍ය දීපල. ඒතර මේ රාජ්‍ය දීපල අධ්‍යක්ෂ මණ්ඩලය විසින් බදු දී තියෙනවා. ඒතර මේක කිසිදු විනිවිදභාවයක නැති ගනුදෙනු. රූපවාහිනී සංස්ථාවට අයත්
Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that ChannelEye and the airtime are government properties and added that 6 months airtime has been provided. Yet it was a transaction without any transparency. The minister further said that ChannelEye has not been sold to a private company and it was also not subjected to lease. It was given on hire basis for a period of 6 months at a cost of 150 million rupees. The monthly hire payment is 25 million rupees. He has stressed that instructions have not been given on a legal transfer and the measures have been taken according to the Rupavahini Corporation Act. He also said that according to the powers vested upon the minister, approval has been given to the Vista Broadcasting Private Limited to undertake on a hire basis. This was carried out through a memorandum of understanding with the approval of the chairman, Director General and the Board of Directors of the corporation. An advance of 75 million rupees has been received and added that there was no need to present a cabinet paper. The Board of Directors has the authority to take decisions. The Board of Directors are doing a business. The minister also said that newspaper advertisements have been published regarding hiring of their time. An agreement has been signed in this regard. Only 2 applications have been received for 10 million rupees on monthly basis. The decision of the Board of Directors has been that the minimum amount should be 25 million rupees. He also said that they could leave from the agreement at any time by giving 1 month notice. He has stressed that this was not an inappropriate or a corrupt transaction. The minister also said that employees of the trade unions have agreed to hand over sports and recreational activities for a period of 2 years. There is no need to go before the cabinet.
ප්‍රකාශ කරලා තියෙනවා. නීතිමය අයිතියක් තිබුණා පඬු කරද ගහ ඉවත් කිරීම සඳහා බලය.
The minister has further stated that the Rupavahini Corporation has been incurring losses continuously since year 2018 and the total loss up to now is 1,660 million rupees. He also said the budget has allocated funds for the maintenance of the corporation since the year 2014.
The minister said that out of the 75 million rupees received as a result of handing over the ChannelEye on high basis, 25.05 million rupees have been paid to the Ceylon Electricity Board as arrears for the electricity bills on SLRC. In addition, a further 8 million rupees have been reserved for employment medical insurance, 13 million rupees for the EPF and ETF, and a further 3.5 million rupees to settle telephone bills. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says a joint plan is to be implemented speedily through an action committee by taking into consideration the emergency of the problem of drinking water requirement of the country. He has made these remarks at a special meeting at the Parliament complex today. The expeditious program to fulfill the drinking water supply will be jointly undertaken by the Ministries of Water Supply, Irrigation, Public Administration and Home Affairs, the provincial councils and the local government. The Prime Minister has also instructed to act in close collaboration with other relevant institutions in this connection. The committee comprising of secretaries of the respective ministries is to be functioned under Prime Minister's Secretary Aruna Disanayake.
The government has decided to provide urea fertilizer to vegetable farmers at the same price this commodity handed over to paddy farmers with effect from next Maha season. Minister Mahinda Amarveera has made these observations at a discussion in the Ministry of Agriculture with farmers, representatives and managers at Economic Centre yesterday. Opinions have been expressed at the meeting regarding price increases of certain vegetables in the market. Special attention was focused on the difficulties being experienced by vegetable farmers due to high fertilizer prices and the existing dry weather condition. The farmer representatives have requested the minister to provide urea fertilizer at concessionary prices. The minister has responded saying that they will be given urea fertilizer at relief prices from the next Maha season. He added that a committee will be set up to streamline activities at economic centres.
And meanwhile, Minister Manoj Danayakar accuses all sectors in the airport for extending support for the racket connected to foreign employments. He further says that the Department of Immigration and Immigration does not extend assistance to the government's program to control human trafficking. The minister has made these remarks at the occasion of declaring open the Safe Migration Promotion Unit at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake yesterday. The unit has been set up with the objective of extending proper guidance to prevent Sri Lankan labour migrating overseas using tourist visa to become prey of the racketeers. The unit is expected to focus more attention on Sri Lankan nationals leaving for employment in countries Malaysia, Oman, Dubai and Abu Dhabi using tourist visas. The Safe Migration Promotion Unit is a service provided open 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week. Minister Manoj Danayakar said that the government itself has clearly stated in the constitution that freedom of movement should be safeguarded. He has further pointed out that some officials try to question passengers with regard to their travel. There are times when some passengers take officials to task. The minister says that efforts to curb trafficking and illegal immigration for foreign jobs cannot be stopped by just one entity, and it should be a combined effort involving the Ministry of Defence, CID, the SLB, FE, airport and immigration officials and the other stakeholders.
Now, the second Kumbal Perahara of the Kandy Asla Festival has started facing southern direction at the auspicious time of 7:05 this evening. of the Sri Dalada Maligav is carrying the casket containing the sacred relics in the pageant today. The Tusker is being accompanied by Kandula Tusker of the Kalaniya Raja Mahavihara and the Mian Raja Tusker of the Sri Dalada Maligava. Large crowds were seen lining up on the route of Parahara along Dalada Vidya, Diyasenanayaka Vidya and Raja Vidya. National television will bring live telecast on the Parahara in the next few days as well.
And the construction plan of the new surgery complex of the Avisawala District Hospital was handed over to Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena yesterday. It was presented to the Prime Minister by the Western Province Governor Roshan Gunatilaka and Parliamentarian Yadamini Gunawardena. The proposed building, comprised with 12 main operating units, is equipped with 600 beds. The Prime Minister has instructed relevant officials to take measures west with the general public, the first stage of the hospital by next year.
The Ministry of Home Affairs says investigation into the singing of an altered version of the national anthem has been concluded.
State Minister of Public Administration and Local Government Ashoka Priyantha says a report including the recommendations of the committee appointed to look into the incident has been released. Recommendations of the committee investigating into the singing not according to the melody in contrary to the clauses in the Constitution of a such altered state of singing says a decision has to be taken, consulting the Attorney General and take further action. The second recommendation deals with preparing and implementing regulations on the national anthem by the minister in charge regarding the manner of singing the national anthem. The recommendation number 3 points out that it is appropriate to enlighten all sports clubs and associations to recite the national anthem as described in the Constitution in ceremonies conducted through mediation of the Ministry of Sports and the National Olympic Committee at national, regional and international level. State Minister Ashoka Priyantha said that a popular female figure had sung the national anthem with some changes at a public cricket tournament recently. He added that he had complained in this regard in writing to the Inspector General of Police and also informed the Department of Criminal Investigation. The State Minister added that his ministry also appointed a committee to look into the incident. State Minister Ashoka Priyantha further said that the relevant singer had apologized for her mistake and informed on this in writing to the ministry. She has also arrived at the committee and gave evidence with apologies. The report of the committee on incident has been published. He added that they, as the ministry, is taking measures to end the occurrence of this kind of incidents.
Minister Ramesh Patruna says a systematic investigation will be conducted regarding removing 3 plantation families in El Kadua, Matale. He added that measures have been taken to place under compulsory leave the assistant manager of the plantation company. The minister has responded to a query raised by opposition leader Sajid Premadasa in the parliament today.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that 14 members of 3 families who were living in the lower section in Al Khadu, Matale, have been forcibly removed from their dwellings by an assistant manager of the plantation company. He further said that he, accompanied with several henchmen, have chased away the residents and demolished the houses.
Minister Ramesh Patruna has extended strong condolences to the affected families. He added that the assistant manager has directly involved to chase away the families who were living in unauthorized constructions. The minister also said that legal action will be taken against the culprits. He further said that he has instructed the company to immediately transfer the suspect after placing him under compulsory leave. He also said that the chairman of the company has compiled with the orders. Action will be taken after an investigation in this connection.
And meanwhile, several public meetings of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perabuna and the National People's Poll were held yesterday. Leader of NPP Anura Kumara Dissanayake has presided over the Galle District Conference of the Retired Tri-Forces Personnel Collective recently. Parliamentarian SP Disanayake has presided over the Hanguranketa Electorate Press Representative Conference of the SLLP yesterday. And the Department of Wildlife Conservation says turtles found dead in the Goldface Green beach of the western coastal line.
It further says the cause of death was still unable to be specifically determined. Turtles normally feed on plants and animals including seaweeds and small fish including jellyfish living in shallow sea waters. The Nara Institute says Goldface Beach front is usually an environment for turtles to lay eggs. It was the Navy which has informed the Colombo District Wildlife Ranger's Office of the rare incident of finding carcasses of 7 turtles on the beach. The carcass of another dead turtle was found by this afternoon. The Nara believes that an occurrence in the sea area of the western province may have caused the deaths of these creatures. And that's all the news we have from home. Stay tuned for international stories coming up next after this break.
Welcome back with international news. And foreign media reports that a flagship Russian long-range bomber has been destroyed in Ukrainian drone strike. And the foreign media reports that a military rescue is underway for 6 children and 2 adults trapped in a cable car over a ravine in Pakistan's northwest. The group were on their way to school when one of the cables snapped, leaving it dangling 274 meters above ground, officials said. Pakistan's acting Prime Minister has recorded rescuers to attend the alarming incidents in Battleground city. Helicopters have reached the car, but rescue conditions are precarious. The 8 passengers were trapped for at least 4 hours before the first helicopter arrived, local media outlet Dawn reported. The incident happened in the morning hours today across the Alai Valley. Residents who spotted the cars trained in mid-air used loudspeakers to alert local officials to the crisis. In addition, the gusty winds, the operation is being complicated by worries that the helicopter's rotor blades could further destabilize the chairlift. At the 6 children on board the cable car are being aged 10 and 16 years old.
The Greece Fire Brigade says that 18 burnt bodies, possibly of migrants, were found in a remote rural area south of the village of Avantas in northern Greece, where wildfires have been burning for days. Dozens of hospital patients, including newborn babies, were evacuated onto a ferry in the Greek port city of Alexandroupoli today as the wildfire raged uncontrolled for the 4th day, and 2 new blazes broke out near Athens. The fire brigade said hundreds of firefighters have been struggling to contain the blaze that broke out near Alexandroupoli. On Saturday, a quickly spreads fanned by gale-force winds, sending plumes of smoke above the city and turning the night sky red. 1 person has been killed on the foothills of Mount Paranitha on the outskirts of Athens. A wildfire that broke out on Tuesday was threatening homes. More than 125 fighters and 9 aircraft were fighting the blazes near Athens, the fire brigade said. Authorities said 65 patients at the University Hospital of Alexandroupoli had been evacuated by early Tuesday as a precaution onto the ferry in the port.
And Russian media reports that at least 4 people have died after they were trapped underground by floodwaters during a guided tour of Moscow's sewer system. City confirmed that the deaths without saying how many have died and said authorities were still searching for several missing people. Sunday's flood caused by heavy rain was so rapid people could not escape. Several companies offer a tour of cities' sewers, some of which date from 19th century. Russian media said that the body of a teenage girl was found on Sunday evening in the Moskva River near the Saraji Park in the center of the city. The following morning, a man and a teenage boy were discovered in the same spot. A fourth victim was found in the nearby region yesterday. The group is said to have been exploring the underground Neklinko River, a tributary of the Moskva. Originally, more than 20 people signed up for the tour, although most of them later withdrew because heavy rain was forecast. Officials said that 8 people went ahead with the tour. Divers are searching the Moskva River for more victims. A criminal investigation has been launched amidst allegation that safety standards were not adhered to.
The foreign media reports that a flagship Russian long-range bomber has been destroyed in a Ukrainian drone strike. Images posted on social media and analyzed by BBC verifiers show a Tupolev Tu-22 on fire at Solsy 2 airbase south of St. Petersburg. Moscow said that a drone was hit by small arms fire but managed to damage a plane. Ukraine has not commented. The Tu-22 can travel at twice the speed of sound and has been used extensively by Russia to attack cities in Ukraine. The Russian Defense Ministry revealed in a statement that an attack by a copter-type unmanned aerial vehicle took place at last Saturday. It stated the locations as a military airfield in the Novgorod region, where Tolsy 2 is situated. The UAV was detected by the airfield's observation outpost and that was hit with small arms fire. The ministry said one airplane was damaged. There were no casualties as a result of the terrorist attack. The statement also said a fire which broke out in the airfield parking lot was quickly extinguished.
Japan media reports that Japan will start releasing treated radioactive water from the tsunami-hit Fukushima nuclear plant into the Pacific Ocean on Thursday, despite opposition forms in neighbors. The decision comes weeks after the United Nations Clear Watchdog approved the plan. Around 1.34 million tons of water have accumulated since the 2011 tsunami destroyed the plant. The water will be released over 30 years after being filtered and diluted. Authorities will request for the plant's operator to promptly prepare for the disposal to start on 24th August if weather and sea conditions are appropriate. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said on Tuesday after a cabinet meeting Kishida had visited the plant on Sunday, prompting speculations the release was imminent. The government has said that the releasing the water is a necessary step in the lengthy and costly process of decommissioning the plant, which sits on the country's east coast, about 220 kilometers northeast of the capital, Tokyo. A crowd of protesters in Tokyo and Tuesday also staged a rally outside the Prime Minister's official residence, urging the government to stop the release.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamai.
On sports news, US athlete Sha'Carri Richardson has become the fastest competitor in the World Athletic Championship tournament currently being conducted in Budapest, Hungary. Now, a team will represent Sri Lanka in the 4x400 relay event at the World Athletic Championship tournament. The Sri Lankan contingent is currently engaged in warm-up sessions in Budapest in Hungary.
Sri Lankan athlete will also take part in the women's javelin throw and 400-meter running event as well. Aruna Darshada, who took part in the 400-meter running event, was not able to qualify for the next round. The 400-meter men's rally event is scheduled to take place on the 26th of this month, with the participation of Sri Lankan players Aruna Darshana, Rajita Rajakaruna, Papasaratiku and Kalinga Kumarage. The team has recorded 12th best timing in the world. A program to felicitate Sri Lankan players who have shown their skills at the 7th Youth Commonwealth Games was held today. Secretary of the National Olympic Committee Maxwell De Silva has presided over the event. At the Commonwealth Youth Games, Ayoma Lakalanka brought a silver medal for Sri Lanka. Nilipul Peshara won a bronze medal in the high jump event.
මහත්තුමී පන්තමයි.
That's all the news we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on ChannelEye. I'm Delanjali, together with Choices, signing off. Good night.
Good night.